Alright, what's up, man? Quality looks good. It's because we're working with a new camera today. So I went out and bought myself a GoPro Hero 12. I just kind of got tired of the quality that the 360 or the Max was giving me. Well, it was a combination of the quality of the Max and the fact that you can only record it for about 4:3 aspect ratio. It made all the videos look stretched. So right now we're recording in 4K, 60 frames, 16 to 9 ratio. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this looks beautiful when it comes out. You know, I won't have any more complaints about quality. You know, personal complaints. I don't know if anybody really cared that much, but hopefully everything just looks good. And as you can see, man, cold, freezing. We just got done with like all of this, just snow everywhere. So I'm doing this. I'm working on the Evo, just trying to get the motor inside the car. That's really the plan for today. I'm like eager. I'm like really wanting the car to at least have a motor on it so I can lower it. For today, goal is motor in the car, transfer case attached to the motor, and probably put the axles back in. And then once I, you know, get that far, it'll be pretty much a breeze to kind of get the rest of the pieces put back together, since the motor is mostly assembled already. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get started on this and, you know, just try to enjoy this camera quality. So let's go. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and get the rest of that you know, cat litter up. I'm gonna use the shop vac just to kind of clean all that up. Wow. That will not suck, apparently. Okay, so for the most part, we're looking good. It looks like most of the stuff is up. I'm not really too worried about all of that crap over there. I think next order of business is to go ahead and get this transfer case cleaned up. I'm just gonna kind of try to wipe it down because it has just a bunch of like oil and probably like transmission fluid, just all kinds of gunk just resting on it. So I'm gonna get that cleaned off. Probably just do like a quick brake clean wipe down. I really don't want to soak it or anything because we still have these seals and stuff exposed. So I don't want to, you know, dry out the seal or get any brake clean on it and pretty much disturb it. So we'll also get this cleaned up because this has been a problem area since I got the car with all the like grease and stuff. I couldn't get a good angle on it because it was in the car. So now that it's out, I can actually hit all of this with brake clean also, just give it a quick wipe down. So let's go ahead and do that. Sounds like these. Pretty happy to have these gloves. These are like, I don't even know where I got these from, but they have like a little bit of insulation on, so my hands not fucking freezing. Here, decent sprites. And kind of just get into all these little nooks and crannies that I couldn't get with this being inside of the car. Looks sweet. Ergonomical pad under my knees and saves them. I'm not even that old and I'm already starting to feel like, well, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's more so, you know, human anatomy. It doesn't like the knees on the fucking ground. So this thing is actually pretty bright. So looks decent. Transfer case, I'm gonna wait to hit this top portion with all the coolant and stuff until after I take this banjo bolt off, put it back on, because it's gonna spill fluid that the transfer case uses, since this is ACD transfer case. So that looks okay. This I'm probably gonna hit a little bit more, and then we can start moving on to getting this thing actually in there. I think I'm gonna end up taking this intercooler pipe off because it's, I think last time it was in the way trying to put the motor, or take the motor out. So take that off, and then yeah, look at that. That's how you know it's cold. And I think it's time we start moving to put this thing in. No motor, I mean in the car. So let's go ahead and do it. Don't say anything about the garage. I know it's junky. It's just, it's a combination of parts and tools all over the damn place. So don't say anything. All right. Hands are freaking freezing, but let's go ahead and try to get all of this stuff underneath the car. Get the car lowered on top of the motor, and then fingers crossed, everything lines up and we're good to go. So is it on? It's on the wood. Definitely think it's on the oil pan. So kind of dilemma. Both boards are all sweat underneath. Doing that, it's giving us a little bit of height. Bam, now we're not under the freaking pan. So with that out the way, scoot this over some, move this out the way. Slide this the rest of the way in. Most part is in. Okay. All right, so switch to the POV cam because I feel like stuff is finna get pretty I think this is pretty much about to get pretty delicate. So first thing I'm gonna do is all this out the way, and we're gonna lower the car just a bit on each side. Okay, it's on there. Then make sure we have clearance steel. So I'm so mad. I'm gonna have to put more caliber there, but so far, I mean, we look pretty good. So now we gotta do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna push this up just a bit, and then hopefully we should be good. So we're supported completely by the jack stand. Slowly, let's try to drop this. Whoa. Started to crest over this way, which means I think something. Whoa. I really don't want to stick my feet underneath. I don't want to stick anything underneath, or any of my appendages, because your boy likes his appendages, but we gotta do something about this thing. Oh no. That all looks fine. Honestly, what I should have used is my transmission jack. Probably would have fared better. See if I can just at least lift this. And slide this underneath. So again. God, this thing is heavy. This whole assembly, I should say. So, it's on the floor again. Okay. I mean, for the most part, even with it being on the floor, it should just kind of slide in. See what happens when I drop it a little bit more. Okay. We're at a decent point. So, alternator cleared. This thing's been annoying. Actually, that's fine because it's gonna have to go in the front anyway. Now the only thing I'm really worried about is this shaft, which I think if I just rotate it like this, it should be fine somehow. Let me see this actually. Maybe if I get that out the way, use this, let it rest on the alternator a bit. Only a little bit. Drop it a little bit more. Okay. Now we're getting real close. Move this over. And then everything just has to shift that way. So, do my best at doing that. And oh, the alternator is fine actually. Everything looks okay. Yeah, we got a little bit of clearance. I wonder if I can. Oh, it's gonna keep dropping this way, so it might clear it now. Okay, perfect. So it's cleared. So now, drop it a little bit more, see what happens. Okay. So now this has to swing this way, connecting the the transfer case to the transmission. Freaking bullshit. Looks like it cleared the frame rail right there. So I think if we drop it some more, we just got to try to line it up. Okay. And the thing is pretty much on the ground at this point. Okay. Hope I didn't mess up the shaft. Heavy ass transfer case. Come on, man. So this is where we're at, bro. Huge mistake when this transmission pretty much come off the pallet jack or pallet, whatever. Now, I think the transmission is too low to mate up properly with the transfer case, and it's a bitch to lift. So what I'm gonna do is attempt to try to get this back on track, lift this and slide this pallet underneath, and then hopefully I can get everything to line up and just start to assemble this thing
eventually.
All right, y'all, it's a new day, and the plan right now is strictly to make sure we can get this thing in there. I made decent progress with getting the motor kind of like angled here, right? What I'm gonna try to do is lift or drop the car pretty much on that rear motor mount. I think once I drop the rear motor mount and get the transfer case aligned with that, I think we should be good to try to mount this motor mount and that one. So, oh man, it's so freaking cold, but let's try to get this thing started. I don't know who shit boxes. Just all over the place. All right.
8 hours later.
I think we made decent progress. I got that bolt partially way through. I got this screwdriver holding this up, that bolt there. You know, just to kind of get in a space where I can get this thing up off that pallet, get that lined up, and then get that back mount lined up. So, wish me luck, man. Oh, please no. Please tell me I didn't just. Oh my gosh. There's no way it just fell. There's no way. It had to. There's no way it fell in here. Right? No. It fell all the way down here, right? Please. Oh my god. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god. The nut fell into the fucking motor of oh my god, I fucking hate this so much. Whatever, man. If I can at least get 2 motor mounts in, I'd be happy. I don't even know where to pry. You know what? Fuck it. Back to the screwdriver we go. On the bright side, man, we got that nut back. Just hanging out inside the motor. But we got her. All right, man. So I'm gonna try to make this pretty quick, but yeah, it's in there. It's all in there. We got the mount on the left side, we got everything torqued down. We got the mount on the right side, we got it all torqued down. Rear mount, and we've finally got the transfer case in there. This transfer case, oh my gosh, so annoying. So I guess that completes part 2. Part 2? I don't know. Part 2, part 3, whatever I decide. Would I recommend, you know, doing this method when it comes to pulling a motor out of an Evo 8? And probably the same thing for the Evo 9. The only real difference is the head, pretty much the Myvac. But would I recommend this? I think I'm iffy on it. It just took too long. There was a lot of hiccups going on, or a lot of hiccups with this whole process. So for starters, to even get the motor in the car, you have to have the dollies, you know, whatever is rolling on, you have to have it at like a level setting, I guess. It has to be level, because if it's not level, then it's going to present a lot of issues with trying to get the transmission high enough and over the subframe and still be able to you know, get all of this stuff put on there, as well as still be able to get this, you know, over enough and inside the engine bay without scraping everything up. Issue is definitely this transfer case. I think a lot of people, whenever they do this, they just remove the transfer case and remove the complete assembly. So the tail, maybe the drive shaft, or at least the carrier bearing for the drive shaft. I think a lot of people remove all that stuff. I chose not to, and that also presented a number of issues with getting it, you know, just kind of sorted back out. Granted, it didn't take a couple of days like the rest of, you know, lining up motor and all that stuff in the engine bay, but it still took probably most of today, probably about 4 hours, just to get everything lined up with the drive shaft and the tail of the transfer case. So I'm iffy on whether or not I would recommend this. I know it would be probably 10 times easier to just drop the motor in there, because then you have to don't worry about the, you know, the subframe. So with all that being said, man, it's done. I mean, it's doable. Just be prepared to have a lot of headaches and a lot of hiccups when trying to do this. I think my biggest things that I will recommend: remove this motor mount, at least to get the motor over the subframe. Remove this motor mount completely. I almost want to recommend removing the motor mount from the engine completely, almost, but I was able to get that in there. And then make sure you, like I said, have this leveled somehow. You don't want either side to be kind of poking up, you know, before the other side, because then you end up with the car resting on the motor or on the transmission or whatever. So try to get that as lined up as possible, as level as possible, and be sure that before you get your transfer case, or before you get the motor mounted into the car, make sure your transfer case is above the lip of the motor. I got everything kind of bolted in and then got stuck on that. So I guess those would be my only recommendations. Other than that, man, yeah, she's in. So with that being said, let's go ahead and end this video finally after I don't know how many days, but let's end the video and then just prep for getting the rest of this stuff done. Now that the motor is in, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a breeze, but it's not that much that has to be done to wrap this up. Turbo, intake, thermostat housing, reconnect all the connectors, axles, and then that's pretty much it, man. We should be good. So like I said, man, peace. Let's go ahead and wait for part 3.